Joining us now, former Pennsylvania Democrat Congressman Patrick Murphy. Patrick, good to see you. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. I know the last couple days have been hard for you. I'm surprised I haven't seen any TikTok videos of you crying in your car, but I'm kidding. Patrick and I are friends. Just want to get your take. I mean, again, there's a lot of blame going around, right? And I think you have to look as a party to say, well, maybe some of the things we were talking about, whether it's boys and girls sports or giveaways for college debt or open borders, maybe that didn't play with the American people, and the only blame should go to us, the Democrat Party, for the policies.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing a lot of honest reflection, Sean and Dagan. I mean, what we need is a party, my party, to say, listen, we lost fair and square, right? We might like it, might have had sleepless nights, but we lost. And why is that? In Pennsylvania, as you know, Trump won in 2016 by 1%. He lost by 1%. He just won by 2%, right? It was close, but, he won the granddaddy of all in the swing states, right? And so why is that? We lost the U.S. Senate race. So what can we do as a party to let people know that we hear them and we act on representing them and where they want to be represented and what they want us to fight for?
Patrick, because looking at, we've been going through all the numbers, the kind of post-race numbers. The rich was one of the only groups that Kamala Harris improved with. And so she did well with rich folks who don't go to church, have no religion, and graduated from college. That's really poor. And that's not who you grew up with, and it's not who we grew up with. That is not where any of us came from. And it's because only the rich got richer under the Biden and Harris administration. And working men and women, they struggled and people in your party just spit in their face and told them it's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they spit in their face.
Figuratively.
But I do think, I know figuratively, but I do think, listen, the Democratic Party at its core is for working men and women, at its core, right? And you got to be able to talk about the issues they care about. When you had inflation, rampant as it was, and yes, it went down, but people were hurting. They just went through COVID. The inflation, and I get it, inflation has happened all over the world, but you got to let them know that you're fighting for them. The majority of Americans don't have a college education. They don't, right? And so when you say, hey, I'm going to spend $140 billion on writing off student loans, like I'm still paying my student loans, right? But it doesn't sit right with the plumbers and electricians that are saying, wait, why do I have to pay my tax dollars for that? And again, I'm not saying if you're scammed by for-profit colleges, et cetera, but that's not the case. And so, yeah, they it is what it is, but I'm not giving up hope. I think there's a lot of blue dog Democrats like me that want to roll up our sleeves and say, how could we be a party that represents our values and articulates that?
I think you were that member of Congress. Bill Clinton was in that category. I do think that this more recent party has shifted away with the squad and others. But I want to get to this because the DNC chair, Jamie Harrison, roasting Bernie Sanders on X after the senator said the Democrat Party abandoned working class people.
This is straight up BS. Biden was the most pro-worker president of my lifetime, and some of Kamala's plans would have fundamentally transformed the quality of life and closed the racial wealth gap for working people across the country. There are a lot of post-election takes, and this one ain't a good one. Patrick, your reaction to that, because I'll say that not only were all of the Biden and Harris policies not popular, they were bad policies, and they never once course corrected in 4 years.
Yeah, and I don't think they articulated well what they did. It's one thing about like what you've done, but you got to let people know it's not just good policy; it has to be good politics and articulating that. And we as a party didn't do a good enough job on it. I don't want to spend time the finger pointing on each side. I know Jamie. I'm a big fan. He worked for James Clyburn. He's a South Carolina guy and a great leader. But to me, it's like there's still people pissed off about Bernie Sanders not being our nominee 8 years ago, right? I'm tired of the old fights. I want new generation of leaders that are to get stuff done. People like Josh Shapiro, people who understand how to balance a budget. People who are going to create jobs here in America and not outsource them. So we got to get back to fundamentals. core beliefs. And, part of those beliefs, frankly, are things like national debt. And that we're $35 trillion in national debt. It's a national security issue. We got to get after it.
It's that common sense the Democrat Party needs. Former member of Congress, Fox Business dispensing knowledge, maybe just coming from your GQ shoot. Patrick Murphy, thank you for being with us.
I'm here in Portland, Oregon, man. I'm here at a Nike event. Nike was started by an Army veteran, Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight. Yeah. So we just did an Army event here in Portland, Oregon. But God bless you guys. Thanks for having me on.